Okay, this is review day on Tuesday. We're doing the discriminant today. It is a stapled page. We'll go through the front side of this, and I'll tell you what your homework is here in just a minute. But yesterday we were dealing with stuff like x squared plus 7x plus 10, and that is a simple trinomial. And when you break him down, what can you multiply to get 10, but when you add them, give you 7? What do you got?
5 and 2.
5 and 2. So you would say x plus 5, x plus 2, but when you set those equal to 0, x is actually equal to negative 5 and negative 2. And what that tells us is this parabola, because he's an x squared function, he's a quadratic function, at negative 2 he's going to cross, and at negative 5 he's going to cross, and he looks something like this. That's what your parabola is going to look like, okay? And that's what we're trying to find, okay? Now, there are some functions that are not simple trinomials. They're not difference of squares. They're not complex trinomials. They're not greatest common factors. There's nothing you can do with them to find these places where they cross really nicely, okay? And so your last resort is to do something called the quadratic formula. Do you remember talking about that at some point?
Yeah.
The quadratic formula. Here you go. You're going to put it at the top. Quadratic formula. Here it is. This was the song that we played on that YouTube video. I can play it again if you want to listen to it again. We can.
Yes.
Here at the end here. But the quadratic formula is x is equal to negative b plus and minus. Anybody remember this?
No.
Square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We'll play that video here at the end. But negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And it's kind of a big, long formula, but this is what you use as a last resort, right? Ideally, it would be nice to factor, because even, using the complex trinomial method is probably faster than the quadratic formula, but there's that. This is our last resort, okay? There is something called the discriminant. And here's what the discriminant is. Circle around this guy. This is called the discriminant. Okay, here's what the discriminant does. B squared minus 4ac, just the stuff that's underneath of that bar, tells me some information about what the graph looks like. Okay? All right?
Wait, can you go back up?
I will go back up there. I'll sit here for just a second. That thing is the discriminant. Just b squared minus 4ac. The getting rid of the radical, just the stuff that's underneath is called the discriminant.
When do you use this for?
Okay? Let's go down here. So the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. I just said that in the quadratic formula. Here's what happens. B squared minus 4ac. Let's talk about, given the example, let's say I have negative 3 plus and minus the square root of 4 all over 2. Let's say the quadratic formula, whatever I have, boils down to that, okay? The square root of 4 comes out to be 2, right? So I would have negative 3 plus 2 divided by 2. I would have two answers, negative 3 plus 2 divided by 2, and I would have negative 3 minus 2 divided by 2, okay? What is negative 3 plus 2 divided by 2?
1 divided by 1.
Negative 1/2, okay? And negative 3 minus 2 divided by 2 is negative 5 divided by 2, or negative 2.5, right? So what that tells me is that when b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, meaning it's a positive number, I'm going to have two solutions. My two solutions were negative 1/2 and negative 2.5, okay? What was the discriminant in this case? What was the b squared minus 4ac in this case? What did I have as my discriminant?
What? 4.
4. 4 was the discriminant, okay? Yes. Meaning it's a positive number, okay? 4 was a positive number, so I'm going to have two answers, okay? Let's say I'm going to use exactly the same example, but I'm going to have plus and minus the square root of negative 4 over 2. And what happens when you're taking the square root of a negative number?
You can't do it.
There are no solutions, right? So if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, in other words, meaning that it is negative, you're going to have no solutions, which means what? He doesn't cross. He does not touch the x-axis. That's what he looks like if you have a negative number for your b squared minus 4ac. What was my b squared minus 4ac? What was my discriminant number in this case? Negative 4. So if it is a negative number, It doesn't work, okay? Now, I'm going to do the same thing again. Same numbers, except my discriminant is going to be equal to 0. So I have negative 3 plus and minus the square root of 0 all over 2, okay? What is the square root of 0?
0.
Just 0, okay? So really this is saying negative 3 plus 0 divided by 2 and negative 3 minus 0 divided by 2. So it's just negative 3 over 2 because they're both the same answer, and it is negative 1.5. So I only have one solution when it is negative, or when it is 0 exactly. When it is 0 exactly, I have one solution, okay? So here are the three options. If it is 0 exactly, I have one solution. Write this down off to the side. If it is positive, how many solutions do you have?
2.
2 solutions. And if it is a negative number, you have?
No.
No solutions. So 0 solutions, or you can write 0 with a line through it, okay? Does that make sense? If it has one solution like this top one here, what happens with the graph? What's that thing called? That low point of the graph, what's that thing called? On the one solution.
Parabola.
What's that low part of the parabola called? The what?
Watch what happens.
I thought I heard somebody say it.
Parabola.
Nope. What's that low part? What?
What are we trying to find out?
What's this thing called?
The crap.
Nope. What's that thing called?
What?
That is called the what? I thought I heard somebody say it, but they didn't. Vertex. That's called a vertex, right? So if it has one solution, the vertex is touching. I thought I heard somebody say it at one point. The vertex is touching there. Okay? Good? All right. So let's do 1, 2, 3, and let's do the discriminant, and let's figure out what's happening here, okay? Now, we need to know what A, B, and C are for each one of these 1, 2, 3s, okay? So, number 1, what is A going to be? It's the number in front of x squared, which is?
1.
1. So A is 1. What's B? Negative goes with the 3. So negative 3, what's C? Negative 5. Those are my ABC, okay? To do the discriminant, we need to do what formula again?
The quadratic formula.
Kind of. Part of just B squared minus 4AC. That's the only thing that I need, okay? So I'm going to do negative 3 squared minus 4 times A times C is negative 5. Okay? And we're going to solve this, and we're going to figure out how many solutions he has. What does negative 3 squared become? What? What?
Why didn't you do the?
What do you mean?
Why didn't you put negative 1?
You're right there, Jason.
What are you talking about?
Or negative 3.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
What,
I'm
the
just
first
plopping them
part?
in. Oh, I'm just finding the discriminant. I'm just doing B squared minus 4AC. I'm not doing the whole quadratic formula. I'm just doing B squared minus 4AC. Shh. Okay? Negative 3 squared is what?
9.
9. Okay? What is negative 4 times 1 times negative 5? Is that going to be a positive number or a negative number?
20.
Positive 20.
Positive 20, right? Because 2 negatives make a positive.
29.
So the discriminant is 29. So what does that mean?
Something I don't know.
You plug that in for the
No,
square root.
kind of, yeah.
Take the square root.
But how many solutions am I going to have?
1. Even. Odd.
Back up and
You
One.
don't have
2 solutions. This thing will have 2 solutions.
Oh, it's
Okay.
positive. I
It's
thought
a
it was
positive number. All right, now number 2 is not quite ready to go yet. What's wrong with him?
plus
We have to-
72
we have
over.
We have to put the 72 over to the other side. So add 72, right? Okay. 2x squared minus 24x plus 72 is equal to what?
0.
0. Okay, let's find out A, B, C. A is 2, B is
24.
negative 24, C is 72. All right, let's do B squared minus 4AC. B squared minus 4AC. Stop.
What?
B is negative 24.
I need to something like
A is 2. C is 72.
Well, no.
All right?
24 squared is, well,
676, I think.
576.
576. I don't know why I said 676. 576 is 24 squared. Okay? What is negative 4 times 2 times 72?
-8 is the first part. I'm not doing the 72.
8 times 72 is what?
Negative 8 times 76.
Negative 576.
Oh my god.
Is it negative 576? What? So the discriminant is 0. So how many solutions?
1.
One solution. This guy's going to touch the x-axis and then go back up.
I think you need a new
Okay.
pencil sharp.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
Can you put that in your budget?
Can you just wait a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, is this one ready to go? Number 3.
Alright, a minute.
No, yes.
A7.
Yes.
A is 7. B is
Negative
-3. C is 2. B squared minus 4AC. B is
Negative 3.
-3 squared minus 4 times 7 times 2. Okay, this guy is 9 minus, oh shoot, is it going to be positive or negative? Negative 4 times 7 times 2.
It's gonna be negative.
It's going to be negative. 4 times 2 is 8. What's 8 times 7?
56.
56. 9 minus 56 is negative
55. I mean 45.
47.
Oh,
No,
close.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, negative 47, but that tells me that there are
0 solutions.
no solutions. You can put a circle with a line through it, but he is going to not touch the x-axis when he looks like
I
this.
went to the bathroom now.
No solutions. Can you just wait a minute?
I did.
No. It's not been a minute. Just
Get
wait.
told.
Okay?
Okay.
Quadratic formula is down here. Shush. No. Quadratic formula is down here. Negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We just did that above, but it is down here also. Here it is.
Divided by 2.
What?
Whenever divided by 2.
Because we were just doing the discriminant. We were not doing the entire quadratic formula.
You already told me that.
Yes. Okay. All right. Example down here. Is he ready to go?
No. Subtract the 15.
We have to subtract the 15 over. So x squared minus 2x. And then what?
A equals 1.
Minus 15 equals
0.
0. Okay.
A equals 1.
So A, B, C.
X squared.
We're doing the whole thing.
We're going to do the whole thing. This one's the whole thing. A is 1. B is -2, C is -15. All right. So we're going to do the whole thing. Negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac. You don't have to copy this down again, but I'm going to all over 2a. Okay? So we are on this part. We're on the negative b part. B is already negative. So it is negative 2, or you can just put it as plus 2. We'll fix that here in a second. Okay? B squared is negative 2 squared minus 4 times a times c. All over 2 times a. All right, then let's simplify some stuff.
So it'd be
All right,
4
negative 2 is positive 2, plus and minus the square root of. Let's simplify some of this stuff.
4.
What is negative 2 squared?
4.
Is it 4 or negative 4?
It's 4.
It's always 4. 4.
So
What's
then-
negative 4 times 1 times 15? Negative 15. Is it positive or negative?
Positive 60.
Positive 60. So inside of there is
64.
64. Positive 64. I don't
What
know
a
why
nice
I
number.
made that. It's a really nice number. Okay, square root. All over. 2 times 1 is
2.
2. Okay, what is the square root of 64?
8.
8. So I really do have 2 solutions because it's positive. Positive 8 was my discriminant. Right? If we want to write that down, we can. The discriminant is 8, which means 2 solutions. And we're going to find those 2 solutions here in just a second. The first one is 2 plus 8 divided by 2. And the next one is 2
5.
minus 8 divided by 2. So you
5.
said this one is 5
And negative 3.
and negative 3.
Where did you get 8?
Because the square root of 64 is 8. Yep. So what does 5 and negative 3 do for me? What are those two
Where
things
they
doing?
cross.
That's where he's crossing, right? Okay. All right. They have one more for us. Is he ready to go?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
It's a complex.
So he is a complex, right? But
we don't need to. worry about
let's
that.
just go ahead and do, because not every equation that it looks like a complex can be solved by using the complex trinomial method. Because like to do complex trinomial, we would take 2 times 1, which would be 2. What can you multiply together to give you 2? But when you add them, give you 7. There is nothing, right? So we couldn't even try to factor this by doing a complex trinomial. Okay. So A is 2, B is 7, C is negative 1. All right. Negative B is negative 7 plus and minus
Good.
the square root of B squared, 7 squared, minus 4 times A times C. All over 2 times A. I'm just plopping those numbers in there.
So it's Positive
Okay.
8.
So negative 7 plus and minus.
49
Okay.
plus
7 squared is 49. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 1
8.
is a positive 8. So 49 plus 8 is the square root of
57.
57.
Shouldn't that be negative because of the negative one?
What?
Shouldn't that be negative?
But it's a negative 4. So there's two negatives, right? Negative 4 and 2 and negative 1. Two negatives make a positive 8. Okay? All over
That doesn't come out nicely.
4. The square root of 57 does not come out nicely. So what do we do?
Just leave this.
You just leave it like this. That's all you do.
Nice.
Now, really, the square root of 57 comes out as a decimal, so you could do like negative. I'm going to write it out, but you don't have to. Negative 7 plus and minus. What is the square root of 57? Somebody give it to me.
What do you say?
What's the square root of 57?
7.
Square root of 57.
7.5498.
Okay, 7.55. So we could really do it as a decimal and do negative 7 plus 7.55 and negative 7 minus 7.55 over 4 and give you those two answers, whatever those become, and that will give you your two spots where he crosses, right? It's just going to be at an ugly decimal number, right? Okay. So he still will have two solutions, but, oh, what was the discriminant in this case? And how many solutions? Discriminant was what?
7.5. There's 7.5.
Nope.
7. 4.
Discriminant was?
I don't know.
57.
57. It's just the number that's inside of there. Discriminant was 57, which means how many solutions? How many solutions? Two solutions. Okay, 57, two solutions. Yes, good? All right.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Hold on, let's go to the back side.
Can I go to the bathroom before we do the back side?
I thought we only
This is
doing
going to
the
go
front-
real fast.
Alright.
I thought we were only using the front side. Or doing the front side.
I'm going to have you do the very, very back for homework. Okay, and I'll do a couple of these with you. Okay. What is the formula for discriminant? Just for the discriminant. B squared? B squared minus 4AC. What does discriminant tell us about an equation? What does that discriminant tell us?
How many solutions?
How many solutions? How many solutions? Okay, now A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever. Those are saying if this is the discriminant, how many solutions will they have? So part A, how many solutions will that have if 8 is your discriminant?
2.
2 solutions.
2.
B, how many solutions will there be on B?
2.
B is down. B is down.
Oh, none.
Like negative 10. How many solutions?
0.
No solutions? What if it's 9?
2.
2 solutions,
1.
right? If for
Zero.
D, if your discriminant is 1, how many solutions?
1. 2.
2 solutions. What if your discriminant is 0?
1.
1 solution. What if your discriminant is negative 4?
None.
No solutions, right? That was really fast. Okay, that's what your discriminants are. All right, what is the quadratic formula?
Negative B plus minus square root of B squared minus 4AC.
All over 2A.
All over 2a. Okay. All right, why do we use the quadratic formula?
To help us.
To help us find what?
Where it crosses the line.
To find the
Vertex.
Parabola.
to find the
Location of the parabola and where it touches on the x-axis.
where it touches the x-axis. What are those called? X-intercepts. Okay? To find the x-intercepts. That's why we use the quadratic formula. Okay, what are the benefits of solving a quadratic equation by the quadratic formula over other methods?
It's easier.
You think it's easier? I don't know.
I don't know.
Where you at, Chief?
What are the benefits of finding the quadratic or of using the quadratic formula over other methods?
Because you can find the x-intercepts.
But you can find x-intercepts by factoring too.
If you can't factor.
Yeah, quadratic formula will always work. Always works. Does it always work to factor?
No.
Factoring doesn't always work. Sometimes there's equations that don't always work to factor. But quadratic formula will never fail. You can always use the quadratic formula, even on ones that you could have factored. Okay, this is your homework. Ready? 6 through 15, there are 10 problems, but they're not too bad. Part A. Should we do one of these together?
How about let's do all of them?
Yeah, let's do like
Okay.
number 12.
Pick one. Pick one.
Do we have to do any of this stuff on the front side?
What?
Do we have to do any of the front side?
We just did that together just now. You missed it. That's why I told you not to go to the bathroom.
I'll do that.
Okay, A, B. You have a part A and a part B. Which one would you like to do together?
A.
Jake said number 12 is a good one, because 6 is ready to go for you. Number 12,
What do you mean A and B?
you have to do a part A, find the discriminant and determine the type of solutions. B is solve using the quadratic formula.
B.
Should we do 12?
Sure.
A and B on 12? Part A, part B. Part A, we have to find the discriminant. Part B, we have to do the quadratic formula. So it's like smushing the front sides together. Is this guy ready to go? No. Okay, what do we got to do?
Minus 2 over.
Minus the 2 over. And we've got to organize him, right? So what comes first?
25x squared
25x squared. Okay.
minus 10x,
Minus 10x.
and then minus 11.
Minus 11. Okay, there gives me our A, B, C. So A, B, C. I'm going to organize them here. What is A? 25. B is
10,
negative 10. C is
um,
negative 11. All right, in step A, what are we solving for? What are we trying to find? Just the discriminant, right? B squared minus 4AC. All right, let's do that.
And the number of solutions.
And the number of solutions. So negative 10 squared minus 4 times 25 times negative 11. Okay, what's negative 10 squared? What's negative 10 squared?
100.
100. Okay, minus 4 times 25 times 11. Okay, is that going to be a positive number or a negative number?
Negative. Positive.
Positive. What's 4 times 25?
100.
100.
So 1100. Or would it be 11,000?
No, it would be 1100.
1100.
89.
So
Oh,
then
what?
our total is 1200.
1200 is your total. Okay, so the discriminant is 1200, which means there are
How'd you get that?
2 solutions.
Never mind.
How did I get what?
And
Okay,
then we can just use
Ah,
that and plug it
yeah.
back in.
you got it. You got it. Okay, so to do part B, don't do more work than you need. Like Jayton's already figured it out. You could just use that number and plug him into the quadratic formula. So we need first, though, negative B. So we need negative 10. You can go ahead and put him as a positive 10 if you'd like. Plus and minus the square root of all of that junk. But we know that that number is
1200.
1200. Okay.
Over
All over
2.
2A,
Negative.
50.
which is 50. Okay.
And then
All right, so this is positive 10, plus and minus. Okay, let's do this real quick. 1200
1290.
will break down into something. What number goes into 1200?
602.
But you can't take the square root of 600 and you can't take the square root of 2.
Silly guy. 12.
300.
Why don't you just write it out?
300 and 400.
Because it doesn't break down.
Yes, it does.
Or it doesn't
30 and
actually-
40.
112.
30
100
and
you can
40.
break down to
No.
10.
Why didn't you break
12.
it down?
Right, but then you can break down more. 403, I like that one.
Why do you have to break it down?
Because it's more proper to break it down.
Why?
And you're going to have to be a big kid next year and do these
Why?
broken down. What's the square root of 400?
I don't recall doing these this year.
What's the square root of 400?
That number.
Square root of
What times
400 is
itself will give you
20.
what times itself will give you 400? 20. What's the square root of 3?
480.
Just the square root of 3, right? That's how he breaks down, yeah? So this guy is 20 square roots of 3 all over.
And then you can just leave
What was
it.
the bottom number?
50.
50.
And then you can leave it.
And then you can do one more thing.
And then
Silly guy.
What one more thing can you do?
Cross out the-
Okay? All of those are divisible by 10. Right? So, final answer?
1.
1 plus or minus
2 square roots of 3.
2 square roots of 3 all over 5. There you go. Beautiful.
Finally.
Easy money.
Final answer. Final answer. There you go.
Break it down.
Because
Guys,
wants to
it's
be
proper. It's the most proper
silly,
thing. All right.
okay?
I'm going to talk, before I stop this video, I'm going to talk one more thing about number 11. There are only 2 pieces.
No.
Eh.
C0.
Okay. So, what do you want to
One.
move? What would you like to move?
Put a one.
Just put
Put a one.
0.
What would you like to move first, though?
The 10.
You want to move the 10 over to this side? Okay. All right. So, 0 equals. What comes first? 10x squared. Then what?
Plus 1.
Plus 45x.
Oh.
Plus
Plus 1.
Plus, if you want to put a plus 0 on the end there. So, you have your A, B, and C.
Because then there'd be a number on there.
Because I want to, Jake.
No. A, B, C. So, if you don't have one of your ABC pieces, it is going to be 0, right? Okay, and then you just do it like normal, right? Good? Okay, you know what you need to be doing. A and B for each one of those. Go ahead.
Do I have to do this one?
Yes.
Do you want me to cut some down?
Yes. Not the bottom 4. Just get rid of the bottom 4.
Get rid of the bottom 4? Okay,
6.
okay, I'll buy that. 9, 10, 14, 15. You can cancel those because these do take a little bit of steps. So you do have to do 5 of them by yourself, but then you only have those 5. Okay, I'll cross out the bottom 4. That's fine. We can do that. All right. So use your time to work. You've got 15 minutes. That's 3 minutes a problem.
We just spent like 15 on one.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay.